25 minutes before 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Can you imagine if you bumped into a psychic like 50 or 60 years ago, before your life was just getting started, right? And you sat down, you're just a young person, and this person is telling you what your future holds, and you're probably eating it up. You're probably listening with every syllable, right? And maybe not even happy with everything you hear. Maybe the thought of what your life will be is not exactly what the seer or the psychic is saying. We have a gentleman on the phone who had this happen to him. He is Dr. Chester Wilk, and apparently he's well known. A lot of you seem to know who he is. He's a chiropractor, a speaker, and author. His book is called The Devil's Intervention into Healthcare, Politics, Churches, Courts, and Families. And I want him to talk to us about the book, but I'm also very fascinated by this other story about his 50-year-ago prophecy, I guess, somebody made about him, by a family member, it says here, a guardian angel. Let's say good morning. I spoke to him very briefly on the phone on Friday, I think it was, or
yes.
Thursday. Dr. Chester Wilk. Good morning, doctor. Thank you for agreeing to be on the show with us today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
And where are you again? Are you in California?
I'm in a suburb of Chicago called Park Ridge.
Oh, okay, Chicago. Okay. Well, thank you. How's the weather up there today?
Oh, it's not. It's rainy. Certainly not as nice as in Florida, that's for sure.
So can I ask about who is the person that made the predictions?
When I was a youngster, from the time I was about 8 years of age up into my 20s, this woman would come over to her home. Nobody knew where she lived. In fact, she said that she made her daughter swear in a Bible, tell no one where she lives. She kept her whereabouts secret, but she always popped over unannounced, and whenever she did, she had something to offer. And every time she said, well, it came out. Our first experience with her is what really shocked us, you might say. I was perhaps 8 years old at the time. She came over and she says, you have family that lives to the south of you. The man is tall, skinny, and bald. His wife is short with black hair. They got 7 kids. Do you know who that is? And my mother says, yeah, that's my brother Tom. He lives on the south side on 55th Street because, we're up north. And she said, well, go there when you close your grocery store. We live in back of a grocery store at the time. She said, when you go there, when you close your grocery store, go to your family and tell him that the third-born girl is sick. Now, the man, by the way, was my uncle. It was my mother's brother.
Okay, and who was sick now?
And his name, it was the what do you mean?
I didn't quite understand what you said. The third-born was sick?
The third-born was sick and needed to see a doctor. And my mother's reaction to that was, no way am I going to tell my brother something like this.
Oh, wow. Well, yeah.
Crazy, How can anybody come out of blue sky and say something like that? Absolutely impossible. No way. So she ignored it. She said, I know you don't believe me, but you're going to get a phone call from a friend. When you do, it'll be too late, and she's going to die. Well, that phone call came from a friend, and she had tuberculosis, and she passed away.
Oh, my goodness.
And my mother often would say, if I only had spoken up, I could have saved my niece's life.
Wow.
Well, I'll tell you, when that happened, from that point on, when she would come over and say something, you better believe it, we listened.
Yeah, sure. Who wouldn't? Yeah, everybody would listen to that. All right, so and so she started telling you about your future. Well,
she didn't really tell me about the future. What she was doing, she was guiding me, she was protecting me, she was helping. She was like a guardian angel. And I was about 15 years old at the time, and she says, now she says, you're going to be pedaling your bike. Boy, you're going to be standing up, pumping away. I had one of these old-fashioned Schwinn's, it's quite enjoyed. And it did pedal kind of like a truck. She says, you're going to be pedaling down and approaching an alley with a garage on either side. Slow down, because if you don't do this, you're going to be hit by a car. And well, by this time, having experienced these other things with her, it was on my mind. So
yeah,
I was pedaling over to my sister's home. I see this alley with a garage on either side, and my reaction was, oh, I better slow down. So I slowed down, but I didn't stop. I proceeded into the alley slowly, and that car came out of. He must have been going 20 miles an hour. I probably wouldn't be here talking.
Yeah,
wow.
yeah. And how old were you at that time? You're 15?
Well, I must have been about 15. And by the way, I took a polygraph test. In fact, I sent you a copy of the polygraph test. I hope you got it in
Did
the
you?
email.
Okay, I don't remember that. Okay, but I remember seeing the statement that you would take a polygraph. So you took one.
Absolutely.
And what were the questions? Why did you take a polygraph test?
I took the polygraph to prove that every word in my book, because I wrote several books, in fact 8 books, which, by the way, 50 years ago she predicted I'd be writing books, and I can assure you 50 years ago I was thinking about books, maybe girls, but certainly not.
Yeah, right. So you wrote some books that made the president angry? Is that right?
Well, I wrote this one book, The Case for Christ and Against the Devil, and in there I bring out the fact that all of these miraculous things happen in my life, and that there must be a higher power, which is God.
Right. Yeah.
And so when a person comes over to you, makes all these different statements that all come to pass, it kind of makes you kind of wonder. Here, another example. She came over one time. He says, "You're going to have a holdup in your grocery store by 2 men wearing Russian fur hats. They're very dangerous. They mean business. So don't do anything foolish. They won't hurt you, but they mean business." True to form, 2 guys come into our grocery store with Russian fur hats and guns. And as they were leaving, one takes a bullet out of his gun after he robs, takes the money, takes a bullet out of the gun, places it in the palm of his hand, shows it to my mother, and says to her, "I just want to show you that we mean business." The very same words.
Wow.
Another example.
Wow.
Wow.
This is mind-boggling. And again, I backed it up with a polygraph test. And you can't. Anybody can make the claim, but they back it up with a polygraph test.
So you ended up becoming an author. What type of books do you normally write?
Well, let me give you a little background. I sued the American Medical Association, and I took them to court. It was filed an antitrust lawsuit. And we won the case. Took 14 years, went to the Supreme Court twice, cost the American Medical Association $20 million, and they were found guilty of trying to eliminate chiropractic. You'd have heard the same old story for years, this attacking of our chiropractic profession. Here we are, a bona fide licensed profession, and they were trying to contain and eliminate. This is a violation of the antitrust law, Right. Like Obamacare, for example, is a violation of the antitrust law. It's eliminating competition. So, but this is amazing. She came over one day, and I was going to be an optometrist. And she says, a man in a white uniform is going to tell you to switch. And you would do all right as an optometrist, she said, but you would do much better if you listen to him. And I says, I'm not interested in changing. I like what I'm doing. Well, you're going to listen to him, and you listen to him, and you would do all right as an optometrist, but you do much better as if you change the profession. Well, true to form, maybe a couple of weeks later, I went to my uncle, who was a chiropractor, John Novak. And he said, "Become a chiropractor like me." And I said, "Oh, Uncle John, I'm in my 3rd semester. It just, going now would be, I don't want to do it." He said, "Don't be so damn stubborn. Listen to me. Go to the college." He had his office at Milwaukee Division Ashland. It's like that in Chicago. And just the college at that time was like a mile and a half to the south at 20 North Ashland Avenue. So he said, "Go down there." So I went down there. I fell in love with the school. I came home. I tell my mother, "I'm switching." And I became a chiropractor.
Oh,
and
wow.
she also says you're going to become very famous, and you're going to write books. Then she also said you're going to be writing, later on, she said you're going to be writing other books, and these other books you're going to become even more famous. Because, in fact, my sister, the day before she died, she told my nephew, Chester's going to become famous. He said, "Well, he's already famous." He sued the AMA. He won his antitrust lawsuit. He said, no, he's going to become more famous. He's going to write another book. He's going to expand his interest beyond chiropractic, what I'm doing right now. And I'm supporting Donald Trump for president, and I'm convinced, and I have adequate proof that I believe he is God sent to save America from bankruptcy.
And that's why we invited you to be on the air with us today. So let me stop you right there because we have to take a break, and I want you to continue on that thought after the break. So let's take that break right now. On the phone, Dr. Chester Wilk up near Chicago. What was the city called again?
Park Ridge.
Park Ridge.
By the way, hometown of Hillary.
Wow.
I'm not proud of it, but it's just a coincidence.
All right, we'll be right back. The book is called The Devil's Intervention into Healthcare, Politics, Churches, Courts, and Families. We'll continue with Dr. Chester Wilk on the other side of the break.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. This Monday, it'll be breezy and warm with times of clouds and sun. There may be an afternoon shower or thunderstorm in the area, the high 80 to 84. And partly cloudy Monday night with the lows ranging from about 60 in a few inland spots to 67 near the coast. Tuesday, mostly sunny, high 82 to 86. For Wednesday, partly sunny and warm, the high 81 to 85. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Bob Kennedy with Berkshire Hathaway Home Team Realty will be on the air Friday at 9:30 a.m. to talk about real estate. Bob will be addressing issues concerning the local real estate market, financing, trends, and even spotlight a listing or two. The program is interactive, and that means your calls are an important part of the show. So whether you're buying, selling, renting, or acting as a landlord, be sure to tune in Fridays 9:30 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source, 96.3 FM and 1370 a.m.
Patty's Day is the 17th. Your Honey Baked Ham and Cafe has a special treat for all you lad and lassies. It's the typical Irish meal of corned beef and cabbage and Irish potatoes. So hurry over today to 2709 Southwest 27th Avenue in Ocala, just behind Best Buy, and get yours while it lasts. Oh, while you're there, be sure to order your ham, turkey, or complete Easter feast. Whether for a small gathering or a large get-together, Honey Baked Ham and Cafe is your Easter dinner experts. Come in or call 861-0011 to order.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
Most couples get ring tattoos after the wedding ceremony, not for the engagement, which is smart considering 25% of all engaged couples, they never make it to the altar. Taking breaks help boost our mood and makes us more creative and productive. When a woman feels threatened, she tends to touch the front of her neck or play with her necklace because it's an area that's physically vulnerable. For men, their tell is fidgeting with their tie.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Stay informed on everything going on in the villages with the Village Spectator newspaper. The Village Spectator is exclusively devoted to the villages with news, commentary, and more. And yes, they have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company that fits your needs, and all we ask is that you tell them where you heard about them. Call Tom's Picks at 804-1223 and pick up your copy of the Village Spectator today.
Now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need
too.
my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, a new spoiler, and a new trunk.
Yep, we can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too.
Well, as a matter of fact, join me, Matt Gibbs from Sunrise Automotive, every Tuesday at 10 for auto repair with personal care right here on The Source.
All right, 12 minutes now before 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. On the phone, Dr. Chester A. Wilk. He's a chiropractor, a speaker, and an author, and it is the books he's writing right now that I think are the ones that are most interesting probably to us here in America and to the whole world. The newest book is called The Devil's Intervention into Healthcare, Politics, Churches, Courts, and Families. If you heard the first part of the show, he has had some, I guess you would say, divine guidance, I guess, throughout his life from a guardian angel, a friend of the family. Is the friend of the family still around?
Oh, no, she'd be over 100 years old.
Okay.
Okay. Way back.
All right. Now, you mentioned Trump. I wanted to tell you something that somebody pointed out to me, and I'm not a biblical expert in any way, but somebody said the word Trump actually appears in the Bible where people have translated it to trumpet.
Really?
Have you ever heard this before?
Not at all.
Yeah,
No.
the word Trump, I tried to look it up so I could say the last trump is in 1 Corinthians. It talks about Trump. No, it's not trumpet. It says Trump.
Corinthians. No kidding. Wow.
Yeah, so I don't know if that means anything, and I'm not, like I said, a Bible scholar, but I thought maybe you could make some sense out of that if there's anything there.
Well, I'm no Bible scholar by any stretch of imagination. I rarely go to church, and so you wouldn't call me, very.
Okay.
But the amazing thing is, when I was a youngster, she. I must have been in my 30s at the time, and she predicted my wife would leave me, and the kids would all turn against me.
Oh.
Did that happen?
It sure did. And there was no womanizing, no drugs, no physical or mental cruelty. I was more than generous to all the kids. But she was convinced that she said, "Oh, you don't love me. You love chiropractic more than me." And I said, "No, that's simply not true. What is my motivation is what I'm doing is the devil is trying to." Oh, she said, "Oh, why would the devil use you? You don't even go to church. When you do, you fall asleep." Well, if you went to if you went to South Park Church, this minister Eric Flood, you'd fall asleep too. And the thing of it all is, he's a minister of God. Eric Flood, South Park Church, Park Ridge, Illinois, actually came right out and complimented my wife for leaving me.
Oh.
I asked him why. He said, "Oh, it's personal."
Oh.
Now, I mean, as far as the devil is in that church, and American people have got to realize the devil gets into churches. And he got into Eric Flood because, why would anybody compliment a woman for leaving a man when there was no womanizing, no drugs, no physical, mental cruelty, nothing. And I was completely faithful, and I passed the polygraph test. And what I'm saying is absolutely true.
You mentioned that again. Let me ask you about your nephew, because apparently your nephew didn't turn his back on you, did he?
No, not at all. My sister told on the day before she died, she said, "You and Chester had become very close." Now, my nephew and I were never close. We were in two different worlds. I had a wife and 3 kids. He had his own. He was born a paraplegic, by the way. But he got along very well. He went to DeVry Tech, became a technician. He made good money. He worked 12 hours a day. He was an ambitious guy, and so we were in two different worlds. So she was in a nursing home at the time, and she told him, "You and Chet are going to become close." He said, "He's no way." She says, "Why would we become close? There's no reason for it. We see each other maybe twice a year, Christmas, maybe Easter."
Right.
Well, he had this automobile accident, which hospitalized. Now we commute every single day. She predicted this.
Oh, the two of you commute together every day now?
Oh, we communicate every day on the telephone. I'm either at his home or he's calling me. Well, he's all I have left, and I am all he has left. That's all we have is each other.
So has he witnessed any of the amazing things that you have?
Oh, absolutely.
Like what?
He was getting it secondhand from his mother, and his mother told him that artists were going to leave Chester, and they're going to turn against him. And my nephew knew this, but we never discussed it. But after he had this automobile accident and we became close, then we began discussing things. We found out that he knew a lot of things which I already knew. He knew, for example, years ago that my wife would leave me.
Mm-hmm.
And kids would turn against me.
I want the audience to know about the book because, I want you to have new readers. So the book is called The Devil's Intervention into Healthcare, Politics, Churches, Courts, and Families. Do we have a website for the book? Can we go online and buy it?
My website is chetwilk.com, CHETWILK.com. But it's available. The book is available at Amazon, and it's on Kindle, so you can go right to Amazon. If you just type in Dr. Chester Wilk, Amazon, you get hundreds of pages on me.
Okay.
And you have really lived a fascinating life, and also, too, a most heartbreaking one, but you're still out there making sure that everybody else has the best life possible.
Well, I think the good Lord chose my family because of the outrageous things they did. My only granddaughter that I have in the whole world lives 2 blocks away from me. 2 blocks away from me.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't seen her. She's now a teenager.
Oh.
And she was, when we got separated, and this is heartbreaking. she would say, "How come Grandpa doesn't come over doesn't anymore? Doesn't he love me anymore?"
Mm-hmm.
And here is my daughter 2 blocks away from me. Dad, she comes over one day, and this is before she got ticked off and turned against me. She says, "Dad, how can you have this diploma in your drawer?" And I says, "Well, that is a doctor of naturopathy. I don't need it. I don't need it, so it's in the drawer." "Oh, can I have it?" So I gave it to her. Well, ironically, I get a phone call from a man by the name of John. He says, I've got a diploma here. I found it in the garage sale. Was it possibly thrown away by accident?" And so I told him what happened. He brought the diploma back to me. Now, the chances of anyone calling me about a diploma,
Yeah, really?
1 in 1,000. But the thing of it all, his name was John, and my daughter's husband is John, and his mother's maiden name was Wilk, the same as my daughter's maiden name. How about that one?
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Okay.
And not only that, but one of his best friends is a very, and I'm not allowed to give his name, but he was connected with the American Medical Association, and he got a copy of it, but we can't release his name because it would be embarrassing to him because, hey, the AMA pays his salary, but he's a prominent figure within the American Medical Association.
So I went to your website, and I see that you have a few books. You have 3 books here: Living a Prophecy, The Devil's Intervention with Healthcare, Politics, Churches, Courts, Families, and then The Case for Christ and Against the Devil. So all 3 books are on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, it says here, and you can get them as a Kindle book.
Exactly.
So it looks like everything we need to know about getting the books is right here. And then there's a little bit of a bio on yourself as well. Well, my goodness, you're a fascinating guy. So you are. Do you have the ability to foresee the future?
Oh no, not at all.
No. So we don't know if Trump's going to be the president.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm absolutely convinced because if you read the book and all these different and you brought on extremely about the 1 Corinthians and Trump. Wow, was the word trumpet or Trump?
Trump. Yes, the word is Trump, not trumpet.
There's no. Hey, why? The man's got a lot of guts. You talk about a courageous man. I mean, he's putting himself into jeopardy. He doesn't need this. I mean, he can play golf and have a grand lifestyle. He's putting himself into jeopardy to save this country. He's a national hero as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Well, I can't.
Let me say this. I believe he is going to win by the largest margin ever in the history. He's going to be a landslide. Hillary is going to be completely. I'm questioning whether she's going to make it. I think when he gets started on her, I think the people are going to revolt against her, and she's going to have to quit. I don't think she's going to run for president because she's done too many things.
Well,
Exactly.
it is an interesting thing to watch. I mean, right now, you're in the state of Illinois, so you have a primary tomorrow. Mm-hmm. We have a primary tomorrow here in Florida.
Yep.
Right? And I think 3 other states,
Yes.
have primaries tomorrow.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see how it all unfolds. Dr. Chester Wilk, you have fascinated us. Thank you for being on the air with us. The website I went to for the books is ChetWilk.com, ChetWilk.com. And if you go online to Amazon and Barnes & Noble, you can all find the books everywhere. Dr. Wilk, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to talk to us today.
So thanks a million. I think your radio program is where this whole thing started. I'll never forget today.
All right. And we will send you a link to the interview so you'll be able to share it any way that you would like to.
Oh, that'd be wonderful. I appreciate that.
Okay.
And I'm going to look up Trump. Wow, 1 Corinthians.
Hang in there. Robin is going to talk.
That's mind-boggling.
Robin's going to talk to you as soon as we go off the air. We'll take a break right now and be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Pat O'Neill. Another Super Tuesday of sorts in the presidential race tomorrow with 5 primaries on tap. One of those in Florida where some 2 million early ballots are already in.
In both mail-in absentee ballots, more Republicans cast ballots than Democrats, but that is not to suggest Democrats suffered low early turnout, with more than 800,000 early or absentee votes cast in the Democratic contest.
Fox Radio's Evan Brown. Primaries also taking place in Ohio, North Carolina, Illinois, and Missouri for both parties. 2 brothers in custody near Washington. One the suspected gunman after the fatal shooting of police officer Ja'Kai Colson.
Prince George's County Police Chief Hank Stowinski called it an unprovoked attack.
This man launched an attack on a police station and engaged several Prince George's County police officers in a gunfight.
Officer Colson was getting ready to celebrate his 29th birthday this week.
Fox Radio's Rachel Sutherland. Fox